No, I haven't snapped.
That is the laugh of a crazy person. That is the laugh of a crazy. It's the laugh of a lunatic.
I really thought that when I was criticizing Sungrad Studios, it would start and end with solely his Nintendo take. But the more Sungrad uploaded, the more he responded to the criticism, the more we uncovered what is truly a narcissistic, self-centered, egotistical sociopath. Gerald is really a case study and a perfect example of what it looks like when someone is going through a crash out. No matter how calm and composed he may act in his videos, we already see through that thin facade of his. I wasn't about criticizing his character up until this point, because if you haven't had the chance to, go check out Harmful Opinion and go give that man a subscription. Seriously, I'm amazed he's only at like 30k subs or something. He needs to be at 100k. He had an excellent breakdown of Sungrad's content and character in a much more precise and straight to the point way than I could, because I do things play by play, some prefer that. But I really do think you should check out Harmful Opinions video, because it really highlights how much of a piece of shit Sungrad Studios actually is. So I just want to remind everybody, Sungrad originally blew up making videos on Concord, with his biggest video being Pro Character Designer Breaks Down Fixes Concord Character Designs. Okay, not to take away from the man's criticisms of Concord, because the Concord characters were, well, let's just say I've seen better looking people walking down the streets of Portland, Oregon. However, the thing here is how Sungrad posed as a professional game developer, posed as someone who knows what good character designs look like, as if he could make them himself. And he convinced 900,000 people that was the case, all through acting composed and wearing a suit, not knowing what his games actually look like. Because this right here, this is what Sungrad's characters look like. This is what he deems good character design.
This looks like a kid drew it.
The point I'm trying to make here is not, oh look, he was wrong about Concord, his opinions are invalid on Concord. It's not that. It's the fact that the dude was legitimately crazy enough to convince himself that he was good enough to be the person saying this. That he thought of himself as an actual professional developer when everything he has ever published barely looks playable, barely looks like a video game. The way he speaks of himself and the way he poses tricked hundreds of thousands of people into thinking, here's a qualified expert. The dude makes it seem like he's been doing this for years and knows better, and people believed him. Nobody took one look at his games. The man has seemed to convince himself that his character designs are great and that he knows what he's talking about and the industry should listen to him. And that's just mind-boggling. Like, he actually believes what he is. And you can see this strange bit of tism-like behavior in other videos.
Good evening, everyone. Jarrell here, normal human being. I wanted to share with you some of my old character designs from years and years ago. Gosh, I think these are more than 10 years old, I believe. These are really old. This was for a game that I wanted to make years ago.
Of course, you know, you don't have to use him as an enemy. You're free to use him in your projects. He could be the protagonist in your game if you want. He could be your friend. He could be the player character or an enemy. You can add objects to him like a hat, swords, a monocle, maybe a little scarf. It's whatever.
What is up, my dudes and dudettes? School's out, surf's up. I'm Jarrell Goulet, the gnarliest game developer who's ever gnarled the gnar. And I just launched the soundtrack to one of my best-selling games, Silver Falls Guardians and Metal Exterminators, for Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Switch. Check out this sick gameplay! If you want to grab the soundtrack, you can find it in the link in the description below, or coming soon, you'll be able to stream it online for free. I gotta go ride some sound waves, baby. I'll smell you later.
Yeah, as you can see, our friend here is a little special. I won't take anything away from Sungrad, though. The guy has talent, he's clearly a visionary, and not a single word that comes out of me should ever stop you from continuing to pursue what you want, Sungrad. But from day one, it was blatantly obvious this dude struggles with accepting that he is not the character he portrays on screen. He is not a professional game developer. He has clearly not talked to CEO billionaires. The industry obviously doesn't look to him for any source of information, and his attitude with Nintendo made it obvious he was always a hardcore Nintendo shill. As we can see in this other video, where the guy is straight up glazing Game Freak and their outdated looking new Pokemon games.
And so this video will not be any sort of scathing indictment or criticism of Game Freak. I believe that what they have accomplished here is incredible, and I will be going through many reasons as to why what they've accomplished is incredible. It is a monumentous accomplishment, what they have achieved. Regardless of any glitches and performance issues, what they've done is great. As a developer, I understand how difficult it is to work in certain development environments.
For those of you who watched my last video on him, I understand that was a tough viewing. To see a full-grown adult acting the way he was, talking down to his viewers the way he did, it was unbearable. But what if I told you it gets even worse? What if I told you he then followed it up with a video saying, "Psych, I was just pretending to be regarded"? Yeah, I know. I can already see your reactions, and I don't even know what you look like, but I'm assuming you're beautiful, because you're my viewers. But I imagine it's somewhere along the lines of soy face. That's right, Sungrad here. In a last-ditch effort to save his character, to save his channel, to save his credibility, proceeds to tell everyone that it was all an act all along. And he was leading us, and it was all a part of this grand master plan of his. And what if I told you that that actually convinced some of his audience, and if it wasn't for content creators like me, some people wouldn't be able to see through it? Yeah, sad, I know. This video is truly a national treasure, and for that very reason alone, I think we should bury it. So let's have a look at how bad it is. And you tell me by the end of the video, are you convinced that his master plan worked? And he duped us all?
So before I explain that, I want to let you know where my priorities are with this channel right now. Over the past few months, I've been noticing more and more people, I've lost count of all the people that are saying that their week is tough, they just have such a tough work week, and that my channel is something they look forward to. My channel brings them positivity. It's a place where they can have a laugh, they can relax and just chill, and that really meant something to me. The fact that I could maintain this channel and bring people something positive, but there was a problem. Because of the content that I was creating in regards to the games industry, it was bringing in a lot of subscribers who were ruining that vibe.
So let me get this straight. You build an audience from being critical of Concord, Assassin's Creed, and just about every other flop you could think of. You build an audience who loved how good you were hating at something, and they held your word at a higher value than most people's because they actually legitimately believed you were a game developer. And you had no problems with that audience. You were hearting all their comments. You were pumping out videos aimed at that audience, for that audience. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, you just decide there's too much negativity in my videos and it's ruining it. Everybody used to be positive. I don't think so, because you know what happened 2 weeks ago? The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct happened, and the reveal of the prices for Nintendo products. And then all of a sudden, there was a lot of quote-unquote negative comments in your videos, but they weren't even negative towards you or other members of the community. They were just negative towards Nintendo. All of a sudden, you took a problem with that? All of a sudden, you were noticing the quote-unquote vibes being ruined? Strange. One would assume, perhaps maybe, you're just sensitive towards criticism of Nintendo, because they seem to be like the only company you have actively defended in several videos while everybody else is free game. Hell, in your video to Doug Bowser, you basically outright beg him for a job at Nintendo. You make content exclusively for Nintendo, even though most of it is shovelware. It's blatantly obvious that your priority here was Nintendo. They seem to mean the world to you, and you didn't want to allow people to criticize them in your comment section.
I keep a close watch on the comments, and there are people who want to come here for positivity and relax, and they were expressing that they were just kind of bummed out by the killjoys that were coming into the comment section, just ruining everything with their negativity and spreading hate and looking for hate content. And they were, you know, not so supportive when I just wanted to do fun, funny, educational stuff. So I decided that I want to focus this channel entirely on bringing people positivity.
Relax and chill session of Street Fighter 3. Like I'm getting my vibe back from 2017.
I want this channel to be a place where you can hang out, you can relax, you can have fun, and you shouldn't have to worry about people in the comment sections just pushing negativity onto other people. And I'm not this big professional YouTuber, so I don't exactly know how to handle or manage all of this. So what I knew was I had to somehow get a lot of people to unsubscribe from my channel.
I am the smartest man alive!
Are you out of your mind? That is really how you're going to thank all those people who subscribed and supported you? Your big thanks to them is, hey, I appreciate you, but, you know, you guys have been saying mean things about Nintendo in my comment section, so you all gotta go. I don't want you anymore. What the fuck is wrong with you? Who in their right mind would self-sabotage like that, other than a person who is clearly mentally ill? How in the world do you have over 800 plus videos and you have still not understood or figured out that you're going to deal with comments you don't agree with for the rest of your life? Why is it all of a sudden now you want an echo chamber? It's because Nintendo is on the receiving end of some harsh criticism and he mentally cannot handle it. That to me is the most absurd fanboy thing I have ever seen. It's right up there next to that PlayStation fanboy who doxed a patient he was operating on just to own somebody on Twitter. I cannot fathom how anybody would prioritize or favor a specific company to this degree that they're willing to just bleed a large amount of subscribers out of their 100K plus channel that they worked hard to build. Do your viewers really mean nothing to you? You really want them gone just because they're not a fan of Nintendo's pricing? Let's just pretend like any of this is true, even though clearly it's not. And this is a desperate attempt to damage control and cover up his horrendous recent behavior, but let's just assume it's true. This master plan makes absolutely no sense. In turn, what you are doing here is actually targeting and losing your most loyal viewers. People who don't agree with you but stay subbed and continue to watch, even if the comments don't align with your own personal beliefs. Those people are choosing to stay by you, and you're saying, fuck it, you guys are toxic, you're too negative, I don't want you anymore. I just want a group of yes men that are excited about anything Nintendo puts out. The whole point of a comment section is to see how the community feels, not to see and read solely the things you want to hear. I don't ever encourage anyone to remove comments they don't agree with unless they're spam or bots. But all I'm saying is, like, there were already tools in place for you to moderate your own comments. But instead you chose this approach? Every decision he makes is just horrible. For instance, instead of publishing his games on modern day platforms, he publishes for systems that don't even sell anymore, like the 3DS. Or he does absurd things like, instead of taking all his time to make one game, his goal is to make one game every month. Yeah, no, I'm not even kidding.
I develop games.
He develops shovelware garbage. His goal, in fact, is to pump out one game a month, not as a fun project, but as his business strategy.
I'm currently on track to launch one game a month. So if I take 3 months developing, say for example, a Dreamcast version of a game, that is 3 commercial titles that I will have not developed, which means that I am losing a significant amount of money.
You give this guy a hammer for a nail and he'll use his head instead. You give him Tums for his bellyache and chalk to draw with, and he'll eat the chalk for his bellyache and draw with the Tums instead. This dude will always choose the most nonsensical way of handling things.
When the topic of the Nintendo Switch 2 came up, and I saw that people were getting riled up and highly emotional, and I knew that a portion of my subscribers would be looking for anger and hatred. They're looking for me to, stick it to them, show Nintendo. I saw the opportunity to create content with very deliberate phrasing and tone that I knew that my genuine audience, the people that come here to just have fun, to have some positivity, I knew those people would not be offended. I knew that you guys would know something is up.
What did I tell you? It's all because of Nintendo. This guy is insane. I'm sorry. I like Nintendo games, but they are not good enough for me to ever try to pull off such a stunt that is so destructive to one's mental health and destructive to one's channel. What did Nintendo ever do to deserve that type of loyalty from you? I don't get it. What you're doing here isn't even fair to your wider audience? Why do they also have to be a part of this huge experiment? How are they supposed to trust you now, knowing that for 2 weeks you were leading everyone on, including the ones that didn't even do anything? Well, do you think that would amuse them? Because they were genuinely concerned for your mental health. And now they don't give two shits about your mental health.
Because I talk to you guys directly in the comment section. I know you're intelligent people. I know you're funny people. Because so many comments, I'm laughing out loud.
He can't even fake his laughter. The poor guy is so broken up. I have never seen a more miserable and depressing laugh in my entire life. This is a man trying to convince himself that this is a big LOL moment, but it's not. And I find it strange because here he's admitting that he looks through the comments and he sees good ones that make him laugh, and he sees intelligent people, and shouldn't that be more than enough? Apparently not. He wants all of them to be exactly like those comments.
And I knew that you guys would understand what was up. So basically what I've been doing with my videos over the past 2 weeks or so is I've been using phrasing, language, and tone that I knew would upset people who want to push negativity.
And instead, you ended up pissing off all the wrong people because you're just so incompetent at this. Even in self-sabotage, he fucks it all up. So in order to target those specific subscribers, he just targeted everyone on his channel, unloaded on all of them. And they were left confused, wondering, why are you talking like this to us?
People who are looking for rage bait content, people who are looking just to hate something, those people were ruining the experience of my channel for other people. Those people were coming into this comment section just ruining the vibe, and I don't want that. I don't want a channel where people just feel uncomfortable in the comment section. And I knew that this decision was going to make people really dislike me. I knew that it was going to bring harassment towards me personally, and I had to calculate, is this something that I'm willing to take on for the benefit of getting people to unsubscribe so that the channel can just focus on being a positive, cool place.
Your videos are what makes people uncomfortable, okay? What you're doing right now, your obvious mental breakdown, your crash out, is very uncomfortable for your viewers. The comment section is the only place that's normal here. I mean, I genuinely had sympathy for you until you tried using a friend's passing as an excuse to not criticize Nintendo. And if you don't believe me, well, here's that clip from Harmful Opinion.
But I'm sitting with my friend dying of cancer, and this is the first time in my life where I've seen the fear in someone's eyes. And he's in his 80s, and he's terrified. He hasn't talked to anyone about it, but he's talking to me about it. And he's just terrified. He's so scared of it. And this is the first time I've seen just fear like this. How do I bring him a sense of calm? How do I bring him reassurance and a sense of comfort? And I wanted to tell you guys a couple weeks ago, but it's too difficult. It's very difficult to talk about this stuff. It sucks. Nobody wants to hear the stuff. Nobody wants to say it. And so that is why my Nintendo Switch videos have not been negative.
I mean, just listen to this guy. Like, who in their right mind can take you serious? Because it's not the first time you've invoked anyone's death. Apparently, I mean, if you haven't been watching Sungrad long enough, everybody around him just seems to mysteriously die. Up to 4 individuals at this point I've counted. Any single time he needs you to feel a certain way about something he's saying, he has to bring up a recent passing. This dude is just not right in the head. I don't know if those people actually did pass away or if they even existed in the first place. Like, the one you keep talking about that had leukemia? For the benefit of the doubt, I'm gonna assume they did exist. If they didn't exist, it wouldn't be as offensive. It would still be wrong. But if they do exist, what you're doing is even more repulsive. The point I'm getting at is this man is an emotional manipulator and a compulsive liar. 1 minute he's saying the tone shift is coming from tragedy in his life. The next he's telling you, oh no, it's because I'm trying to purge the negativity in my comment section. And then he's also saying, well, no, I was actually pretending, none of that was real. He can't get one straight story. And that's the problem too. If you were pretending to lash out at people like that, does that mean your previous videos where you open yourself up about your friend and his passing, was that real? Or were you faking that too? Do you see what I mean? Do you see the problems with this guy's character? It's despicable.
And it didn't take me long to decide. I mean,
Yeah, I noticed that's a trend with you. It doesn't seem like any of your decisions take any time to be thought out. Everything you do is at a whim. But the real shocker here is how you convinced hundreds of thousands of people to actually buy into your bullshit and them not notice it for this long.
I knew that's exactly what I wanted. I want to make this a cool place for you guys. And that means that I can't cover industry topics the way that I did before, because if I do that, it will bring the same people back in. The same people looking for negativity and hate content, they're going to come to this channel and ruin the vibe in the comment section.
Stop, okay? The comments were fine. The only one killing the vibe on your channel was you.
So, there we go. No, I haven't, snapped.
That is the laugh of a maniac. Oh my god, I don't even want to mess with this dude anymore. He's outright starting to scare me. When you hear a laugh like that from him, do not turn your back. That is easily the most distressed laugh I have ever seen in my life. That is the laugh you hear from someone who's on the verge of going full postal.
I'm doing normal. I'm as normal can be.
Bruh, I don't know what you are. Bipolar, schizophrenic, manic depressive, suffering from bipolar disorder. Well, looks like the Husky is betting on that one. I don't know what you are, but normal is most definitely not one of those things. You have such obvious disregard for loved ones around you if you're using their passing to get what you want. Like, I don't know what you are, but it's definitely not a good person either.
I'm working on my games, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm disappointed that more people haven't unsubscribed. I know that you guys have noticed, I have been pushing really hard to try to get the negative people to unsubscribe. I've been pushing so hard.
Gee, nothing really says I love my audience more. I hope more of you unsubscribe. Genius. That'll really filter out the real ones, huh?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of tired of it. This is the one time during my channel where I put on an act. You guys know that I'm genuine, I'm just myself. The past 2 weeks were the only time that I've put on an act because I was really trying to get people mad at me so they would unsubscribe.
Okay, so that all but confirms it to me. That video where you got all emotional and sentimental about your friend and his leukemia and how that affected your reporting of Nintendo, that was all an act. Okay, thanks for letting us know, douchebag.
Douchebag of the year.
This man is insane. He obviously was not putting on an act. He meant every word of it. But at this point, he doesn't care whether you believe it or not. He's trying to convince himself. And that's what makes the video so unbearable. We are watching a man in real time trying to convince himself that he was pretending and acting in those videos when he knows in his own mind that is actually how he felt in the moment. It's clear as day his mental development was stunted at a specific age in his life, because this is the type of lying that you see children do. We don't need to play the rest of this because he just goes on to repeat himself over and over again, reciting what his plan was. And no matter how much he tries to convince himself, there is no way he's gonna convince us. It was the dumbest lie he could have ever come up with. Like, did you plan this while you were taking a shit on the toilet and preparing your Nintendo Switch to give you pink eye? Absolutely no thought went into it. He really just does upload on a whim. But then it gets even more depressing because to close off the video for the last minutes, he tells us this.
So there we go. That's it. All right, so, I mean, we're all kind of stressed out over the past couple of weeks. Look, let's go to the pub. Let's grab a drink and let's sing some Irish tunes. But if you're underage, you can't come. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to stay home. But, I mean, we can bring you back some french fries if you want. We'll grab some french fries on the way home. So yeah, sorry if you're underage, you stay home. Rest of us, hop in the car. We're going to the pub.
And so he proceeds to record going out by himself to show you, hey, look how normal of a life I live. I'm perfectly okay mentally. And all the people in the videos are just old folks. Maybe he's not lying. Maybe all his friends do legitimately pass away around him, because if those are the people he's hanging out with, they all look like they have less than a minute to live. The fact that he finishes off the video doing this is so depressing. To go out by yourself and record it and capture it to tell people, look, I'm okay. I promise you I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me. Was it that supposed to capture some sort of essence and make it seem like all is good in life? Because that gave the complete opposite effect. It's like when Quantum TV pics leaked of him jumping onto the roof of his wife's car so she wouldn't leave him, and everybody finding out that he's crazy and in the middle of a divorce. And then he's uploading a pic of him at karate practice to show how perfectly normal and okay he is. Giving off some serious, this is fine vibes as everything around you's burning up. All goodwill with your audience is gone. They have zero reason to trust you anymore. And we're seeing that in the recent comments. And to think the first day you uploaded this video, there was comments of people actually believing you. Saying things like, oh my God, I knew you were joking all along. Thank God, you had me worried. Then a few videos later, the comments changed and now everybody thinks you're a psycho. If you think that's crazy, he went on to make a video tagging Hypnotic and Smash JT, and he deleted that one, but luckily for us, Casey uploaded it on Twitter.
Thanks for joining me. It's Jarrell. So I want to address a topic that I've never addressed before. There's a couple YouTube content creators out there who have been working towards a goal, and I have been trying my best to support the efforts that we were working towards. And I don't think I've really ever named names on the channel or anything like that. And of course, I'm a professional working in the games industry, and I've been trying to use my experience and my understanding of how industries work to help you guys. And I don't think I've ever really talked directly much with all of you. So Hypnotic, Smash JT, Very Dark, and a number of other of you as well. I didn't realize how much fun I was having with you guys. And when we were posting videos together, it felt like we were on a team.
That was so gay.
Oh, so pathetic. Oh my God. Smash and Hypnotic and Veridark, they watched your videos on stream. They gave you credit back then, and you think you guys are touching tips now? Like, just because they liked a couple of your videos in the past does not mean they're gonna suck you off when you do something stupid. Are those the 3 YouTubers he was talking about when he had that rant and cried about how no YouTuber came to defend him or stand up for him? Does this guy not get that just because people like your content, it doesn't mean they're your friends? This dude is nuts. He thought that just because they cover anti-woke stuff, that meant they were all on the same team and all believe the exact same things and should have each other's backs. Instead, his meltdown was such a spectacle, they did the opposite. They farmed him for content, as they should, because he is crazy and he doesn't realize it. That's the thing about crazy people. They don't know they're crazy. Wait, I thought we were on a team. I thought you guys love me. Aren't you my friends? It makes sense why he deleted this video. This is easily the most pathetic one. It's awful. This dude just set the record for speed running into becoming a lolcow. I know Smash JT and Hypnotic may not be fans of me, but even they understood Fratanga is right on this one, and Sungrad is not worth defending. Hell, he's actually worth milking. I am a great lolcow supplier. Luckily for you, I don't charge for my services. And now comes the best part. The part where he makes it known I am the cause for this mental breakdown. I am the reason any of this happened. And that comes from the pinned comment in said video, which reads, "Sorry for making you all worry. In summary, there was a portion of my subscribers that were bringing negativity and hatred into my comment section and ruining the vibe for people that want to come here for fun and positivity. I've spent the past few weeks trying to make those people mad at me, so they would unsubscribe. I wasn't doing a good enough job at it until luckily someone told me a YouTuber named Frittata or something made videos and sent a hate mob after me. It actually helped a lot to encourage more of the hateful part of my subscriber base unsubscribe. So huge thanks goes out to Frittata. Hakuna Frittata! What a wonderful phrase. I'm seriously half tempted to change the name of this channel to Frittata Plays. Frittata just rolls better than Fritanga. This man just accidentally created the best meme on this channel. When they hate you so much and view you as such a threat, they refuse to properly pronounce your name. I love it. He won't admit it in his videos, but at least in this one, he's admitting that I am the one who broke him. I'm the reason for the development in his character's lore. I set a whole new chapter for him, a whole new character arc. And it's crazy to me that none of this would have happened if I just didn't criticize how he was obviously fanboying for Nintendo. I didn't think it was gonna spiral into pure mental decay. What I thought was just a typical fanboy moment turned out to be a much deeper rabbit hole than we even realized. We had a lolcow right under our noses this entire time and we didn't even know. Nothing about this man seems genuine or honest or real. The only real thing is how much he buys into his own character. And I'm not even sure what he means when he says I sent a hate mob after him. Nobody was hating on you. The hate only started when you put out that video, insulting your own audience and talking down to them, losing your mind over just a few comments disagreeing and politely disagreeing. I refuse to believe that after all this time on the internet, you couldn't handle it. Crazy how all you had to do was make a video on Concord and everybody thought you were some genius. Amazing how easy it is to trick so many people. With that being said, I think we have finally closed the last chapter on the Sungrad Studios saga. What a roller coaster this one was. Easily the most interesting of the lolcows I've ever uncovered. And per usual, everyone else is gonna pick up on it and blow up more from it than I am, but never forget the man who started it all, or the popsicle stick who started it all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Thank you all for the support. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.
Fritonga sucks ass.